Careful, Charlie. You hear her? She is running crazy. Look at her. Charlie? Yeah. I see you, Mama. You're okay. Holy shit. Too close. Charlie. Yeah. She's dead on looking at me. About turning around. She's fired up. Charlie, she's coming. She's coming at me. Charlie, stay down. There she. Oh shoot. She's in the review. All right. Hold on. Hey! Charlie! Hey! Here I am! Charlie! Here I am! Hey! Hey, Mama! Hey, Mama! Hey! Hey, Mama! Hey! Lord.
Okay guys, obviously I'm still alive. And this is a clip that we debated on sharing with you because it's definitely not something we intended to film. We were out there filming like we had been filming, and we're people who have been around a lot of bison and a lot of different places, a lot of different herds. And we felt like it was important to share this because number one, you hear a lot of people talk about domesticated bison. And I've been around a lot of bison in national parks and on private land. And I can tell you one thing, the bison that you run into on private ranches are a lot less domesticated than the bison you run into in national parks. Why? Because the bison in national parks see several million people a year. So the bison on, private land see a rancher every now and then. So they are very much wild. And I wanted to explain what happened here, because when you look at some of the things that people do in Yellowstone, bison can seem very docile at times until one thing triggers them, and then they can become extremely dangerous. So when you see all these people taking selfies up close with big bison bulls in Yellowstone, they have absolutely no idea how dumb they are, okay? They could be taken out in a matter of minutes. If you pay attention to this video, it's not very long. And I'm gonna pull up a screenshot here to show you exactly where we were standing, the approximate distances that we were, and how fast this all moved. And I'm gonna explain to you the bad choices that we had made. Okay, so from the screenshot, you can see that our location, we had gotten away from our vehicle, and our location was about 300 feet or 100 yards from the herd of bison. Now, Shauna was probably about 100 to 125 feet away from the vehicle, and I was about 150 to 175 feet, maybe 200 feet away from the vehicle, slightly on the other side of this little ravine that we had filmed the bison running down. When the bison came up, obviously Shauna had the fastest route back to the car. And you noticed how quickly that bison was on the back bumper of that car. She got into the car and boom, it was on the back bumper. If the car wasn't there and she were any further away, and she initially had run back towards the car. So that the second charge was she was only 25 feet from the door on that second charge. She had covered most of the ground on the first charge. Okay, so that is something to take note of because that's how fast these animals can move. The other thing is that if you look at my location, I was much further away. I was about 200 feet away. Now, both of us recognized that there was something off about this particular bison, and she didn't charge us just for no reason at all. Okay, this is a mama cow. They had come through a gate and they had been released out into a field. They move as a herd, and when they get to their new space, she's looking around looking for her calf, while her calf had fallen asleep in the other field, right? And didn't move with the herd. And so all she knew was that she could smell her calf, she could hear her calf. We couldn't hear her calf, but trust me, these bison, they're smart. They can sense where their calf was. She knew that her calf was on the other side of us, and we were some sort of alpha threat in the field. Her calf wasn't safe. She was there to take us out, and she would have taken us out if she had the chance. Because she didn't know exactly where her calf was, she just knew that we were between her and her calf, and that we were a potential threat to that baby calf, and her mama instincts were take out the threat, find the baby calf. So my location was about 200 feet away. There was no way I could make it to the car, and I realized that as she was going into the second charge. There was no way I was gonna, it didn't make any sense for me to go in the same direction as the car. So what I did is, if you look at this, the white dotted line represents my path of choice. The red dotted line represents the bison's path, and it going for Shauna, and then me. And then the black line is where the fence is. So I was kind of moving back in the direction of where the fence was, or where I thought it was. I was moving a little at an angle. I suppose if I went straight back, I could have hit it faster. But the other problem was with the hills, I wouldn't have seen it coming for me if I didn't take the route that I went. I wanted to keep my eyes on where this bison was, and I slowly was kind of walking back during the time that it was kind of hustling up where Shauna was. And then as I kind of got back there, the rancher who had opened up the gate was coming around his truck. I booked it for the truck. The bison and I both got to the truck at the same time. I jumped in, the bison kind of steered off and then went around us, found the gate, or she didn't even find the gate. She found the fence line, started going up and down the fence line. At that point, she could sense that her calf was on the other side, away from us, and we were no longer of interest to her because we were, no longer between her and her calf. But that was a very dangerous situation. We could have been hurt. We were alerted to the fact there was something wrong. If Shauna hadn't picked up on the fact that the bison was acting erratic, she wouldn't have been on her toes enough to avert the charge that came towards her. And if I hadn't, if I didn't have the rancher driving up in his truck, I don't really know what would have happened to me. I suppose my end goal would have been to run straight at it, screaming, yelling with my hands up and try and scare her away. That was what I was thinking at the time. But my immediate thought was just to try and sneak away. I don't care if the fence is electrified, I'm going through it. But that is how fast these animals can move. That is how their instincts can take over. And that is why, bison, they're not domesticated animals. Whether you see them out there walking around people or not, they still have their wild instincts. You can't get that out of them. That's their survival instincts. And it's amazing to see. It's absolutely, and this is something that since that moment, we've been very cautious of. We've paid closer attention to where those calves are, where the mamas are, and if somebody's acting up, and we make sure we're clear out of the way. But, that was our first experience in that type of situation. Now, had we been closer, in Yellowstone, they let you get within 25, 50 yards of these things. Even within that distance, even within the legal distance of Yellowstone, you don't have enough time to move. You don't have enough time to get out of there. 100 yards is as close as they let you get to a grizzly bear in those parks. And 100 yards is how close we were to that herd of bison when she decided to come after us. A grizzly bear can move that fast too. So I feel like it's important, as embarrassing as the situation might be, because we thought we knew bison pretty well, to share this video with you guys and to help people understand that when you go into these parks, when you go into these places and these animals are there, they're not aggressive. They're not going after you for no reason at all. She wasn't going after us just out of spite. Like there was a specific situation that went down that caused her to act, her behavior to turn the way that it did. But the speed in which she could move, and she wasn't even at a full run. You know, she was moving around, she was huffing and puffing, but she wasn't at a full run. And honestly, if Shauna hadn't gotten out of the car and tried to distract her at that last second, she probably would have gotten a horn under me if she didn't stall her just that split second. But that's the reality of these animals. So please, if you're at a park, if you go to somebody's private ranch or you see some bison through a fence, keep this in mind, because they can change on a dime. We've put up videos in the past where they've charged fence lines with us standing on the other side. We put up videos that show that the behavior of these animals can turn. It's never aggressive, meant to be mean, but it is protective. It's part of their instincts. That is a part of this animal. It's very different than a cow or horse or any other animal. I mean, it is more likely that they will react to protect their herd or their calves. And if you don't know how to read their body language, you're not gonna know if they're a little upset, you know? You're not gonna know if there's something off about one. And you won't even have that forewarning to give you enough time to be ready to move. You're still gonna be standing there in shock going, why is it chasing me? So this is an opportunity that we decided to share with you guys and hopefully educate some of the dum-dums out there that are taking selfies with these animals, that don't know what they're doing, that are thinking, oh, if I just cross my hands behind my back and walk up and pretend to be part of the earth, I'm not gonna get run over. That's not true. It's gonna happen at some point. It happens all the time. I mean, it's happening almost every park that has bison, and most of the time, it's some dum-dum getting too close. I mean, it's a rare situation that somebody's going to be around when they're moving between pastures and there's a baby calf left behind. Although I will say, in Yellowstone, I was filming and I didn't even realize it. These baby calves are good at hiding, but about maybe 15 feet in front of me on the side of the road under a bank of grass, there was a calf lying down. Didn't know it was there. Was standing there filming bison, thought I was at a safe distance from everybody. All of a sudden that calf stuck up its head up, started calling for its mama. I mean, in that case, luckily the mama was about 200 yards away and I spotted her, because it's amazing how they can hear each other and communicate with each other. They all look the same and sound the same to us, right? If I could speak bison, I would understand a lot more about this. But I saw that baby calf stand up and it was not far away from me at all. You know, it was sleeping down in the brush and perfectly camouflaged from anything. And I immediately started backing up and going back to the car, because I know that once he starts calling, or she, whatever it is, once they start calling for their mom, the mom is now on alert to where that baby is and anything that could be around it, you know, which would be me with my camera again. So please pay attention when you're out there and don't be one of these stupid people with a selfie stick trying to take a picture. It's not worth it. These animals can move a lot faster than you can think.
Hey, Charlie!